welcome to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, to a big news roundup coming up for you today. And there are some massive topics to be discussing with you guys. We're going to be talking about Neymar Jr. Big transfer news on that front. We're going to be talking about Lionel Messi's contract. We're also going to be discussing the future of Coutinho and a word as well on David Alaba. It's all coming up. Plenty for you today. Let's do it. Now, today's news is being brought to you courtesy of the OneFootball app, which you can find in the description down below, and I would highly recommend it there. You can stay right up to date with everything that is going on, all the transfer latest, all the football latest. When's it going to return? You can find it all there on the OneFootball app. Thanks, guys. And if we do start indeed with David Alaba, a player there who is very much familiar with us Barcelona fans, not just because he's a high-quality player, of course, playing his football now for many years in the Bundesliga at Bayern Munich, but he's actually somebody who many seasons down the line, many transfer windows, he's been linked with Barcelona several times in the past. And that link here appears set to begin once again this summer because according to BILD in Germany, Barcelona are interested in signing David Alaba, and along with that, he's considering his future right now at Bayern Munich. And it is quite interesting because BILD there go on to say there's real uncertainty right now over the future of David Alaba at Bayern Munich right now. The Austrian currently is unsure about signing a new contract at the club, and that'll be a real headache for Bayern Munich because right now the defender's contract expires in the summer of 2021, meaning that this summer he'll move there into the final year of his current deal. And if he does leave Bayern, Alaba, according to BILD, has his eyes set there on another top European club, one of the European elite, Real Madrid, or another club there who have been linked, but BILD do confirm Barcelona have shown some interest. And it's interesting because Alaba right now, he's still just 27 years old. And that's strange to me because it kind of feels as though Alaba is one of those players who's been around forever. Like I say, Barcelona have been linked with this guy so many times in the past, but he's still just 27, and I think certainly still a very good player. And I think for Barcelona, as well as being phenomenally experienced, very good with the ball, I think he's always been a very attractive option. Also, because of that versatility. You look at it this season, of course, he's well known for playing left back at Bayern to such a high level, but this season, he's actually been used there the majority of the time at centre back. For his country, he's played in midfield, and certainly Alaba can ply his trade in many different roles right throughout the team, and not only play there, but play well. And I think certainly, if we could afford him, if we could get him, he would be on the agenda, and he'd be a good acquisition. But whether or not he does want to leave Bayern, or whether here he's just trying to get an improved contract, we'll have to wait and see. One to keep an eye on. But as we've been linked with him so many times before, I wouldn't get your hopes up yet. We do then move on to the future of Philippe Coutinho, which we have discussed on the channel a number of times recently, and I want to bring you here a recent report from Sport, where they actually say that already Quique Setien has sat down with the Barcelona board over the past few weeks, and they've already began their talks about the new season, about the summer, about the transfer window, and Coutinho is one of those players who's certainly been mentioned, and they said to Quique Setien, what would you like to do with Coutinho next season? Now, Setien apparently is quite happy to incorporate Coutinho into the squad. In Sports words, they believe that Setien thinks that Coutinho is a very interesting player who he could incorporate into his team. However, Sports still say that Barcelona's ambition is not to have him back in the squad, but to sell him or let him leave once again this summer. And it is going to be interesting because right now, Chelsea are one of the clubs who've been linked with Coutinho. According to Sport, once again, they're a team who don't have that transfer ban any longer. They've certainly got money to spend, and they have been linked with Coutinho in the past, but Sports say that the most likely deal with Chelsea would be a loan with an option to buy, and I just don't get that. I honestly don't understand if we go down that road once again this summer. For me with Coutinho, it's one of two things. It's number one, he comes back from Bayern Munich and we find a club to buy him. Not to loan him, but to buy him. We get the money, we get whatever back we can from this deal, and we use that cash to replenish the squad. Or number two, you keep him. It's one or the other. Either sell him outright, or you keep him and you use him. Because it's no good there loaning him out for yet another season, and then at the end of that season, much like this one, the club don't want to buy him, and then again, we're in the same situation all over again, when either get the money or have him come back and actually use him. Get the benefits there, at least to Coutinho's services in the team, rather than another year that'll be wasted, not only for the club, but also kind of for the player himself. But we do now indeed move on to that big news surrounding both Neymar Jr. and a possible return to Barcelona, which we've heard so much about, of course, not only over the course of the past few weeks, but the past few months and what feels like the past few years. But there's also some big news on Lionel Messi and his possible new contract. Now, all of this report comes from ESPN in Spain, which I have to say is why I'm bringing you this news. Obviously, with Neymar, we hear many reports day in, day out with links to Barcelona, but this one in particular, from ESPN in Spain, it is a reliable source. Usually they do get things right, usually they do have good information on the transfer front, and they say they have received their information from a source that is close to the club that Bartomeu himself has a clear plan not only this summer to bring Neymar back, but also to renew the contract of Lionel Messi, which may or may not coincide with Neymar's return. But either way, Bartomeu there is aiming to complete all of this before his presidential term comes to an end in the summer of 2021, which also happens there to be exactly the same time that Lionel Messi's current contract expires. Now, ESPN say that source close to the club has said these exact words to them. Barcelona believe that Neymar is the only heir to Lionel Messi, and for that reason, the club are going to do everything possible this summer to bring him back to Barcelona. And that's the words there of the source who apparently is close to the club. And ESPN actually go even further, claiming that Bartomeu has already contacted a very high-profile lawyer to work on the deal. Because with Neymar right now, we've spoken about it on the channel before, the route that we would go down initially to try and sign him is all about that FIFA clause. Effectively there, Neymar breaking his contract with Paris Saint-Germain, and FIFA then would be the ones who set the transfer fee and not Paris Saint-Germain. And it is interesting here that ESPN do claim there that Bartomeu himself has contacted Belgian lawyer Wouter Lambrecht to analyse there exactly how we can make that deal possible. Now, according to ESPN, Lambrecht is an expert in these kind of situations. He's dealt with matters there with regard to FIFA and with regard to UEFA in the past, and he understands how to make this deal work, and that's why Bartomeu has gone directly for him. And on Bartomeu, ESPN do say that he himself is leading this operation and he is determined and desperate to bring Neymar. And I think what we're seeing here to break all of this down is Bartomeu quite clearly trying to make a big statement, ultimately, while he still can, as president of Barcelona. And I think we all felt deep down like this would happen. I think that's why we were all so desperate this summer for those elections to be brought forward and ultimately from the summer of 2020 have a new plan in place and a new direction for the football club. Because I think we all felt as though with Bartomeu there having a year left until he has to go, he's going to try and do everything to really go out with a bang. And that's exactly what this is. Neymar's return, Messi's contract renewal, and look, I'm not saying here those are bad things. I'm not saying here those are not moves that will benefit the club. Neymar, we all know, world-class player, and Lionel Messi, of course we want him to return. But what I mean here is, Bartomeu can't just do anything to make that possible. Just because it's his last year, he can't throw the club into jeopardy just to make that happen, just so he can go out with a bang. Because we, as a football club, we, as a fan base, we have a future here far beyond Bartomeu when he leaves in 2021. What we don't want to happen now is basically this summer, Bartomeu to throw all the money in the world at Neymar, at Messi's renewal, and ultimately say, whatever it takes. It doesn't matter, it's not important, because it is. Do not throw this club into financial jeopardy just to get these kind of deals done when we need to do it on the right terms. And that's what worries me right now about this pursuit of Neymar in particular. If we do want to get this deal done, if that is the road that we want to go down, then fair enough. But like I've said before, you've got to have that plan. You've got to have a clear idea of how he comes into this team, how number one, he fits there into the wage structure of the club. That's one issue that Bartomeu should be trying to solve this summer by shifting some of the dead wood in this team. That has to happen. And number two, where he fits into this team in terms of structure, in terms of formation. Have you spoken to Quique Setien? Have you there got a plan to really incorporate him into the lineup to make it all work? These are, of course, things that we're going to be talking much more about as things, of course, are going to intensify. But right now, as I've said all along, whether you're for it or whether you're against it, Neymar to Barcelona, it's very very real. And just finally, guys, I do want to bring you here some fresh news from the cover of Sport on Thursday morning, and it's all concerning here the future of Ivan Rakitić. And as you can see there, the headline clearly states, Rakitić, Sevilla destiny. And it basically goes on to say there that this season, the current season that we're in, is going to be Ivan Rakitić's last season at Barcelona, and they believe there a return to the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan, a club, of course, that Rakitić is extremely fond of, played there for many, many years, well liked by the fans there, and of course, it's where he met his wife too. He's very, very fond of the club, the city. He would be open to a return to Sevilla, but can they afford him, and can they also afford his wages? That's what we're going to find out in the coming weeks. That's been the stumbling block when we've been trying to offload Rakitić in previous transfer windows. Barca will try once again this summer, but can they make it happen? Can they make that all-important sale? And of course, guys, as always, I really do want to know your thoughts on this saga that once again this summer, it is only just getting started. Just because football is not happening, that was not going to delay Neymar to Barcelona happening all over again. Please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you want to see Neymar return? What sort of terms would you like the deal to be on? How much would you spend maximum there on the return of Neymar Jr.? Let me know all of those thoughts in the comments down below. And of course, plenty more videos coming your way. Thanks for all of your support. I'll see you soon. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.